Why the charge of an electron times volts. If I treat this as basically the charge of an electron and then multiply it, I would end up with 0.565 electron volts. So just keep in mind, electron volts, especially when you get into high energy physics, electron volts tends to be the unit more often used than joules. So you don't have to worry about the pesky 10 to the negative big number. I think we are close enough that we can establish some dates there.
Let's not.
21st is also going to be. Two, three, so this will be the 24th, 25th, 27th. Draw if you can see that.
That's correct.
And
We're leaving the master sets on Thursday,
Change them to Tuesdays.
change them to Tuesdays.
why we made this
Oh,
master
Tuesday,
set
yeah.
26 to next Tuesday. No more quiz 26 on Thursday of next week. And then test one day.
We're not having lab that day.
No, you'll do the test instead. You got a long, nice chunk of time
Oh, okay.
to work on it. And that way I don't have to cut problems out, I can make it as long as I want.
Oh, that's great.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
We love that.
where it's
I have gotten a lot better. There was a time in which at 4.5 hours I said, oh, I gotta go home.
I mean, that's how long I took on one of Swanson tests, I think.
Yeah.
4 really?
Maybe not 4.5, but like 4, I think, almost one day.
Yeah, it was a 6 p.m. class until 10:30, that was basically my limit.
Oh.
It's only so long I can sit there while a student just stares at a problem looking for inspiration.
Like, are we limited to the time of the lab, or can we
No,
stay
no,
after?
you
Okay.
can keep going, I don't mind that, but 4.5 hours, so.
Yeah.
Well, 10, 15 minutes after your lab ends, another group starts. So,
Nothing else due that week?
not currently. I see if I can write that in darker print.
How many tests do we have overall?
4 test grades.
Including
I was gonna say, how do you gonna fit them all in, if we're already at the end of
Don't we have
February
8
anyway?
units?
No, it's only 4.
I think there's only 4 units.
Module 1 is electrostatics, module 2 is DC, so DC.
Should we be expecting more frequent tests after this then, if you're trying to fit in 3 more tests in the rest of the semester? Like every few weeks?
Module
I
3
guess.
is AC, and then module 4 is relativity. And then technically there's a 5th quantum,
Which is quantum, yeah.
but I don't.
Well, one of the tests is that multiple choice thing.
Well, we have 3, well, we were at the beginning of May is when it ends, so be just March and April, and then a little bit of May.
I guess we are half, a little bit over that, yeah.
No, there's 6. One is looking at, because you forgot,
Yeah.
So it's 4 tests.
2 is
and a
DC
final?
circuits, 3 is
No, no,
magnetism,
the-
4 is
Three tests, yeah.
electromagnetism, AC, and
You define
optics.
The test, you have test
5
1A, which
special
is
relative-
the
special
material through
relativity,
chapter
and
26.
6 is quantum mechanics.
Test 1B, which I think is 3 chapters,
Oh, you,
27,
Deseparated
29.
special and quantum.
Test-
Two separate modules.
3 is,
You said 2. You said 1A and 1B.
For instance, special
The next one I
relativity
call
is a
test
single
3.
chapter.
Okay,
because it's the 3rd test.
okay.
The reason why it's test 1A and 1B is that originally I gave the first test covering 7 chapters. And that seemed to be a bit much, so I broke it down into 2. So if you go and you look at test 1, that's covering more than what's in your test. So I broke it up and called it, oh, this is test 1A, test 1B. The third test is still the third test, so that's test 3. I could go through and call it test 1 and then test 1B, call that test 2, but for some reason I thought that would be more confusing.
And then a final after that.
And then multiple choice. So probably the multiple choice test will happen before that last test, which will be covering chapter 30 onwards.
So there's only 3 tests and then multiple choice.
Yeah, multiple choice counts as a test though.
Will rise the, post-assessment thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then a final.
No.
I mean, the final is just the material that we haven't been tested on.
Wait, what? There's a final too?
No, test 3 is gonna be the last test.
Okay.
If you think final as in it covers the entire semester, I don't do a test which covers explicitly the entire semester. I'm assuming you know what an electron is, you know what charge is, so I'm not gonna ask you a chapter 24 question. I'm just gonna assume you know chapter 24.
So 3 tests.
So it
and
builds on
multiple
itself.
choice.
Yes.
We're going to just take the remaining weeks after this test and divide by 2 and then assume that multiple choice will be the last day or whatever.
It'll squeeze in there somewhere.
Yeah.
Probably the worst timing I had is they had final quiz, multiple choice, regular test, and course evaluation all the same. I was expecting to get badly marked for that because people were coming out of all that stress. They were kind. I was so much younger then.
You mean the student evaluations of your
Yeah.
teaching? Yeah.
That back when it was still done on paper,
Well, I think,
back when it was more useful.
well, even now, I think those evaluations are done before we get our grades back, so it's like, it's almost like threatening to try to negatively like write about the professor, because it's like, will they see that and then affect my grade?
I don't see them,
It's like irrational, but like, it's still in the back of your mind when you're doing those evaluations, at least for me, I don't know.
yeah, I don't see any of the evaluations, even back when it was done on paper. When it was done, you know, I was in the next room, a student took it and handed it in, I did not touch them. And now it's done online, or as traditionally the case, not done at all.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not putting a lot of weight into it if I've got one evaluation out of a class of 20.
For the past stuff, the online grades, is everything on Blackboard?
What was the lab we did was the
Capacitors in series and parallel.
Ah, okay. Did you send me an email last week? We're still recording all this, so
Oh, okay, yeah, I'll send you.
send me an email.